welcome y'all. So I finished the Zuldazar Zone last night, and I wanted to do a quick review of it. Found it to be quite spectacularly beautiful. The architecture is amazing. The details that Blizz has put into the artwork is quite stunning. Just take a look at the ziggurat of the Palace of Zuldazar. It's quite daunting, actually, for us groundlings running around the palace area. The stairs everywhere, no straight lines. Fortunately, as a disc priest, I can float, and I tended to jump off and float around. So, but if you look around, it's just beautiful. They've really outdone themselves, I believe, with the artwork. The zone, it's got some great foliage. It's got some nice quests. I mean, the whole place is just really well done. I really can't say enough about how much I enjoyed questing in here. Really, what I wanted to point out most of all is the level of detail that Blizz has put into the artwork. If you look at the shorelines, the sand looks like sand. The water, the textures, the edges of the water, the grass, the different types of leaves of the foliage, the colors, just all of it is just beautiful. I mean, look at this coming up here. Just the different colors in the plants. Spectacular. The questing was fun too. This was an interesting quest where we had to try to get a couple of rare Brutosaurs, Gentle Benjamin and his desired mate, Irritable. What was her name? I can't remember her name. But she was irritable. He's gentle. And so he had to figure out how to woo her. So the big part of our quest line was finding aphrodisiacs and stuff to get these big beasts in the mood, and using a combination of science and voodoo to woo over the irritable one. And in the end, we were able to do that. Here comes Gentle Benjamin. However, unfortunately, the voodoo made him quite small. So we're not really sure how this is going to work out, but we weren't allowed to stay and watch. So there you go. Now, this was interesting. We adopted a little pet direhorn, and we had to take him around and train him. And here we have him fighting a couple of Ravisaurs and using his headbutt stampede ability to fight these guys. And we were out there collecting meat from these Ravisaurs, partially digested carrion to be exact. And so we were attacking these things and killing them, and in the meanwhile training up our guy, collecting the meats for a quest that would allow us to make genetically modified direhorn growth hormone. And when we're done collecting all this, we take it back to the crawl, K-R-A-A-L, the crawl, and turn it in, and the guy gives us the growth hormone, which we then turn and feed to our friend. I don't know what to call him. He's not our pet. He's not really a companion, but we feed this to him, and he goes from being a baby into being a juvenile direhorn. And it's quite pretty, actually. The blues and all are quite lovely. I'm hoping we get him as a mount, because he looks like he'd be a great mount. But then we have to go take him and train him and fight him against this pink Tyrannosaurus Rex. And once he's done fighting him, he's tired, and we have to go put him in the stable. And this ends the quest line, so I don't really know what happens afterwards. Is he a pet? Is he a mount? We don't know. One of the other interesting things to happen as I was running around, I found this trash pile. And I clicked on it, didn't know what it was going to do, but it was really kind of creepy what happened. It basically spawned this spirit-like Ravasaur. And if you look around, everything's blood red. And it gives you a quest. It's like a challenge quest, a one-off side quest that you go do. I'm not really sure the purpose of it overall. The rewards weren't terribly spectacular, but a lot of the rewards are placeholders at this point. So not really sure what that's all about. Just take a look at the map here, though. That's a huge zone. And of that zone, the city takes up probably a good third of it. And thank God for flight paths, because running all over that city with all those stairs, no straight lines, would be a freaking nightmare. So there's like 7 or 8 flight paths just in the city itself. So that's fortunate for us. So we also get introduced to some new races in the game. So here's some Sethrak warriors. There's a very small zone up in the northwest of Zandalar where these guys are hanging out, and you got a quest line about, I don't know, 4 or 5 quests, and that's it. Here's a mage Sethrak. Just a quick look at some of the movements and all. But at the end of this, you end up with a little baby Ravasaur pet, but you turn him immediately into the Beastmaster, and there's really nothing following on that either. So we're not really sure what that's all about either. We also have the Tortolans in the city. You have what they call Little Tortola, and you've got the Tortolans there. The faction they're with is called the Seekers. I suspect we're going to have a rep with them. There's a few quests in the south of the island. Not many, and they go pretty quick. But, yeah, so we got Tortolans too. And apparently we're going to have some Vulpera fox races as well later on. These are some interesting guys. These are vagrants. They're all over the place in the city. And you can give them gold and they react. You give them a lot of gold and they react a lot. But we're not really sure what happens after that. I don't know what they do. He goes and runs off, all happy as anybody would be that was given 10 gold. But not sure what they do. Some old friends come back to meet us. Here we have the Mogu. There's a whole zone with a lot of quests for fighting the Mogu down in the southwest, and they make lots of references to the Thunder King. Not really sure what the Mogu are doing here. It's almost like Blizz is doing a gathering of all different kinds of old friends, shall we say. So there was one Mogu, and pop up here and look, and there's a Sentinel and another Mogu. Also making an appearance are the Dark Iron Dwarves. Why are there Dark Iron Dwarves on the beach with all their little tunnel diggers things? So here's a Dark Iron Grenadier. Killed her. There's about like 3 or 4 quests here, and then that's it. There's no follow-on. So being that it's alpha, of course, we have to assume that there will be more quests and more involvement, but we just really don't understand their purpose there. But of course, we have dinos. Dinos everywhere. All types, all colors. Some are friendly, some are not so friendly. We meet Nezingwary up in the northeast again, and we have to kill a bunch of stuff for him, a bunch of direhorns and a bunch of Dimetrodons, and the King T-Rex. We kill him too. Some pterodactyls, different colors, different models, really quite beautiful. Bunch of little teeny dinosaurs everywhere. More direhorns, more brutosaurs, they're just everywhere. All in all though, this zone is quite beautiful, really quite amazing. The artwork is great, the details are great. You don't really get a real appreciation for how spectacular it is unless you fly around. Which fortunately, because of all the flight paths, we get to do a bit. Lots of waterfalls, these temples, palaces, ziggurats, whatever you want to call them. are really nicely done. If you look see that tumbler looking thing, the cylinder is actually turning. This flight path is kind of weird. You're going to see we're actually going to fly through the building. So I reported that to Blizz, but overall, all in all, I had a fun time in the zone. It's nice to do new content. It's all really beautiful. It's all, now that it's 64-bit, Blizz can really go all out with the textures and everything. It's lovely, and I really can't say enough of how much I enjoyed it. We'll see how the next zone goes, and we will certainly report on it. But until then, guys, thanks for dropping by and sharing a little bit of time with me. And looking forward to seeing you all out there. And catch you later.
Johnny